Are you one of the many people trying to break into tech and don't know how to network or where to start, looking for that next opportunity, and you just feel overwhelmed with the job market, the amount of no's, and all of that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis? Well, in this particular video, I'm going to share my experience as a developer in the IT field post AI. And I'm not saying post AI is it's reached its totality of what it can do, but I mean post AI as far as the breadth of reach that it has reached. I'm just going to share my experience as to where I am in the field currently, why I chose this particular route, how I'm trying to upskill, and just any tools and tricks that can potentially put you in a better position to succeed. Now, my name is Teeman Beck. I've been a software developer for the past 4 years. Over this particular time, I've learned a lot about my field. I've been about a 75% API back-end developer, a 25% or so front-end developer, dealing with stacks like React, Angular, little Salesforce, Lightning Link components, and Visual Force pages, and things of that nature. You know, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are all tools, and so I don't even mention them in my skill set because it's almost as if you're a developer, that should be a part of your skill set no matter where you are on the stack. So I don't even really mention that anymore. But over the past year or two, okay, long story short, long story long but short. So peeling back the camera, back in 2023, December of 2023, I had just lost the current position that I was in. I had transitioned from being married to divorce. Everything was finalized. I was in between state moves, and life was lifing. Now, give you a little backdrop. I had been professionally developing for a few years prior to receiving my position at ScanSource. ScanSource was my first, I would call my first real job in the field, because I learned a lot. There was a lot more structure. I learned about the different agile methodologies, or what's a scrum meeting, and components that actually matter when you are in an IT organization. I started learning a lot about that, and it fired me up and motivated me in a way that not many things can do, because I love what I do. But anyway, so continue with this little backstory. I graduated from Full Stack Academy, which is located in New York, back in 2021, May of 2021, and I started my full-time position June of 2021, that same month. I had the outlook that if I'm gonna be in a boot camp, I'm not gonna waste any time. It was a 17-week immersive boot camp. It was tough. It was a full-time job and a part-time job together, and you still had to maintain life. So it was definitely a rigorous process, and the coursework was adequate, at least I felt, to prepare me for the field. Now, prior to graduating from Full Stack Academy, I had been in school for computer science at various schools throughout my career. I did 8.5 years in the military, went to school while I was in the military, switched my degree from electrical engineering to computer science, and here I am to this day. Still progressing, still making efforts toward my degree. But let's get back into the story. So now, here we are at the end of 2023, early 2024, and I'm in a predicament to where I do not have a college degree. I have a boot camp certificate, and I have about 1.5 to 2 years of professional experience. Now, this is dealing with DevOps, GitHub, code reviews, peer reviews, reading documentation, troubleshooting, writing test cases. I mean, the time that I spent on my job, I learned a lot. And it tied together a lot of what I had already learned in school for being in computer science and what I had learned in boot camp. A lot of it was tied together and solidified by me actually working in the field. So, with the knowledge that I had, I prepared my resume and I placed or applied for jobs. I did this consistently for almost a year and a half. I would get callbacks from some recruiters. My degree was a hindering factor. Sometimes you wouldn't get calls back. Sometimes you wouldn't get an email back. Sometimes you just get cold, just straight up cold called. I mean, not cold called, but ghosted. That's the word I'm looking for. Ghosted. But anyway, so after months, and you know, if you do the same thing over and over and you expect a different result, it's insanity. And so I had been applying for a couple of months, and I had not received the results that I had been looking for. I had tested out a couple of resumes, a couple of setups, a different visibility types, reached a couple of different job post boards, social media platforms. None of it seemed to help. Went on a couple of interviews, worked at a place called Code Camps for a little bit, you know, teaching kids how to code, and I enjoyed it, but it was just not up to speed with where I wanted my career to go at the time. Nor did I feel like I was going to be in an environment to learn the things that I need to progress my career. And so, you know, held that for a very, very short stint of time. I don't even list it on my resume. You know, I did a lot of work trying to network and get prepared and find a job. Did not happen. I applied religiously. In this same time, you still have bills in life. And so I took upon myself to do the DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber route. Because it's hard for you to have a job and every other day you got to ask your boss to take time off to go interview for someone else. It's never going to work if you're trying to be employed. And so I took that option. I stood my ground, and I just Ubered and DoorDash as I continue to upskill and pursue my degree. Now, I did have a little bit of luck while out Ubering, and it's crazy how it works, how God works. You know, I'm not sure what you believe in, but it's crazy how the entire situation works, because sometimes it is the right place at the right time or the right person that you meet. But yes, I had been out Ubering, and I had a very long trip come in that day. And a part of me wanted to cancel because I had been on the road for a while. But something in my brain was like, you've already accepted the order. You've already accepted the trip. Go and pick them up. And I don't like to cancel trips. Like, I got like a 2% cancellation rate on my Uber. Like, I'm not a counselor. Like, I'm out here working. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Anyway, ended up picking up my current employer. But I picked up the CEO of the current firm I work at, just having a general conversation, nothing even IT related. And the opportunity presented itself for me to submit my resume. And I walked into my position. I submitted a resume, and the very next day I interviewed. And the very next day after that, I went in to shadow the person that I would be replacing. And that was my official first start day. My job title is an IT support engineer. And although it's not the developer title that I was accustomed to, I do a lot of development work anyway. Now, that's probably just due to experience. Like, my job description said one thing, and my employer saw the potential that I have to do other things beyond the scope of what I was hired to do. And when you love it, and you love what you're doing, and you're trying to place yourself in the best position to learn and earn, you'll do it. You'll take the time to invest in yourself, regardless of what that pay looks like. That's why they have paid, unpaid internships. Because sometimes you got to give up free work to get to the point that you're trying to get. Anyway, I say all that to say that just don't quit. I'm still in the process of upskilling. I'm still in the process of going to school. I'm still pursuing my degree. I'm still planning to do some things outside of my degree. I'm still planning to do some things as far as an advanced degree. But what I didn't do was quit. What I didn't do was give up. And what I didn't do was stop trying to apply myself to become the best version of myself. So if I had to say anything to anyone out there watching at this time, my biggest thing to take away from this video would be to stay focused and stay consistent. And you never know what opportunities present themselves when you are effectively and actively networking. Anyway, that's my time today. I'm pulling up at my house to take my baby to work. You all have a great day, YouTube. I'm out. Peace.